What was your worst day on the job? I'd been working at the office for 2 weeks when my manager pulled me aside and said, Patrick is coming by at 3 to drop off his laptop, so you need to leave before then. Her hands were shaking, and when I asked who Patrick was, she whispered, the guy we fired from your position who said he'd kill his replacement. My stomach dropped as everything clicked. The scratch marks on my desk drawers, the dead flowers on my chair the first day, why people avoided eye contact when I worked. In the break room, Naomi from accounting was throwing stuff in her bag. She said the day they fired Patrick, he'd grabbed the security guard's throat and said, whoever takes my job is dead. She showed me her car from last week with all 4 tires slashed and a note that said, for hiring my replacement. I wanted to throw up realizing that was about me. She said security would be here but then checked her phone and went white. The guard just called in sick. Same one who escorted Patrick out. It was noon, 3 hours until he arrived, and people were fleeing. Tom from IT grabbed me, reeking of fierce sweat, and said they'd found a document on Patrick's computer titled Replacement Research, with everyone who'd applied for the job. My photo was circled with notes about my apartment building. They'd also found searches for acids that dissolve bodies, and how to make deaths look accidental, and my legs were shaking so bad I had to sit. By 1 o'clock, the office was emptying, and I was paralyzed by the thought he might be watching the parking lot. My manager came back crying, saying, I shouldn't have hired you for his position, but corporate insisted. My car had been keyed last week with thief, and I realized he'd been watching me in the parking garage while I worked at his desk. 2 o'clock and only 8 people remained. Leo showed me Patrick's social media. My LinkedIn announcement about the new position with a knife stabbed through it, captioned, time to vacate my position. I was shaking as I realized he'd been watching since before I started, planning this every day I'd been here. My keycard was missing from my desk and panic flooded through me. I was trapped. 2:30 and Leo screamed, he just posted again! The photo showed our building's lobby from inside, taken 5 minutes ago, the security desk abandoned. My heart was pounding so hard I thought I'd pass out. Everyone ran for the elevator, but it was jammed with something wedged in the doors. The stairs were no better. Keycard reader smashed to pieces. We were trapped on the 10th floor and I could taste bile in my throat. 2:45 and my phone rang from an unknown number. My hand shook as I answered. Patrick's voice. You're sitting in my chair right now, aren't you? At my desk? Using my keyboard? I looked around wildly, feeling watched, violated, knowing dozens of hidden cameras could be anywhere. He continued, I worked that position 5 years, built those client relationships, and you've had it 2 weeks. Doesn't seem fair. The line went dead and I was crying, terrified, wishing I'd never taken this job. 2:50, and we heard the freight elevator moving, the one nobody used. My whole body shook violently as Claire whispered that Patrick had worked maintenance before our department, knew every way in and out, had copies of every key. People scattered to hide under desks and in supply closets, but I was frozen at his desk, my legs like concrete. Terror had locked every muscle. 2:55 and the lights went out with a loud pop. I bit my hand to keep from screaming as emergency lighting kicked in. 3 o'clock exactly. Footsteps came from the back hallway.